Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome to Blue Ridge Parkway. I've come out here to talk about a little challenge I want to do in this video, which is to take about 2 rolls of film and pictures on the iPhone 12 and compare them. You know, see what you get from film, what you don't get from a camera phone. So I've already mentioned the iPhone 12, so all the camera images will be from my iPhone 12, straight from the phone, whatever that means, right? But just straight from the phone. The first camera I have is basically a reusable, disposable Agfa photo camera. I've got Fujifilm Superia Xtra 400. A little windy out here. Like I said, this is a reusable, disposable. I'm already having some issues with it. Like the film counter wasn't advancing, but I think the film is in there correctly because it's turning. So again, Fujifilm Superia Xtra 400 is in this baby. It's got a flash, so I'm looking forward to this. Cool. Well, we'll see. So there's that one, and then I guess the heavy hitter of this is not only the Yashica TL Electro, which I've talked about in the last video. I've got the Yashica 50mm 1.7 on there. Looking forward to testing this lens because when I look through it, it looks great. And even better, I've got a roll of the Film Photography Project's Retrochrome 400 in there. I've never shot this film, but I've watched videos on it and heard a lot about it, and I'm super excited to see what it looks like. So yeah, I will film whenever possible of me taking these pictures. That might not be possible every time, but it's just a simple comparison between 2 films and 1 digital, in this case an iPhone. And yeah, that's what it's all about, and we will see how the results are. Cool. So follow me along. We'll show me taking some pictures, and sometimes we won't, but you'll see the results later, I promise, in this video. Okay. Hey, thanks a lot. I'll see you on the flip side. So what conclusions can we draw from this experiment? Well, I'm trying to think if I learned anything new. So by the way, I have the phone, I have the images here. I'll just bring them up real quick. I wasn't too surprised about some things. For example, I knew that the user experience on the iPhone, in other words, shooting, with the phone as a camera, would be 0. The user experience is 0. I also found the images to be boring. I probably had it set. I could have changed the aspect ratio to improve it a little bit. I think it's set for 16:9. But none of the images really caught my eye, except maybe the one of the tree where you get a lot of the sun. That's when camera phones tend to perform best, when they're flooded with sunlight. But really, I got no surprises from the iPhone. It was as dull as I expected it to be. The big surprise of this test was the Agfa, actually. I know in the intro I kind of expressed a little frustration because I wasn't getting the reading on the film counter, but it started to work fine, or I don't know, it worked itself out and it was fine. It correctly read the where the film was. I've since taken this to New York City and to the Dominican Republic, and those videos are coming soon. In other words, I really like this camera. It's just so, for example, one thing that I've learned, just shooting with different cameras in different contexts, especially in crowded places, is that, there was a time perhaps where you could take cheeky photos with your phone and nobody would notice because maybe they weren't used to just, such photography being so done on just phones and not cameras actually. But now it's the opposite. Now, you carry around this thing and it makes no noise. That's one thing I like about it. And you can take photos and you're not standing out as much. People tend to just focus on what is that thing in your hand? What is this thing? Because this does look kind of cool for being completely plastic. So I've taken it on these trips where I need to be a little, less conspicuous, and I've really enjoyed it. It's no sound. Unlike, the Yashica or some classic SLR where you will, it's big and you're going to make some noise. So anyway, the Agfa was a super big surprise in terms of the user experience. And again, like I said, I've continued to use it all of December and into January. The photos themselves, I really liked too. I was really shocked at how good the Agfa photos were. Again, this is a reusable, disposable kind of camera. There were some images that didn't come out, and there's some that you might see that you can tell they're a little dark. So it likes the light. I just shot it when obviously there was a lot of light. It was a very sunny week in the Dominican Republic, and so this was great. And then when I was in New York City, it was also a very sunny day. I'm looking forward to those photos because, again, this does perform well when you have a lot of light. If it's shadowy or dark, you're not going to get much from this. So even though it does have a flash, but I try not to use a flash, especially outdoors. But yeah, I was super impressed with the images. Hopefully you guys are too. Very moody. I guess we'll compare it to the Yashica. The Retrochrome 400 was interesting. I think I didn't give the camera or the film enough light, as you might have noticed. In other words, the user experience is tougher with an SLR. I had to account, obviously I'm metering for light myself. I made some mistakes. Obviously this one you don't really have to do much at all or anything really. So, I'm not going to give up SLRs for these type of cameras, but it was definitely, I didn't get the greatest results. Learned something about Retrochrome 400, which is, I guess it just needs a little more light. So when I shoot it again, I'll meter, correctly for that. Maybe just give it a little more, like I said, a little more light. But the images that it, when I got everything right, when I got the, the exposure triangle correct, wow. I mean, the photos are amazing on the Retrochrome, and the Yashica, of course, is a good camera too. So the bottom line in this video, everybody, is that the iPhone is boring, right? It's a boring way to do photography, in my opinion. Film is much more interesting. And hey, you can really have a lot of fun with these cameras. I think they're like 30 bucks, if that, $29.99, $39.99. There's a Kodak version. There's all kind of versions, an Ilford version, which this one feels good. I've held the Ilford one and it didn't feel great, and this one feels a little bit better. But definitely a good companion to your SLR. Again, I usually go around shooting 2 types of cameras, just depending on the context. If I don't want to drag out the SLR, this is a great option. So I was really surprised. Otherwise, I kind of got the results I expected. Like I said, the iPhone, boring. Agfa with the surprise, and the Yashica with the Retrochrome, again, not quite as good as I expected, but that's probably user error. Cool. Hey, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed the comparison. I look forward to doing more, probably more with film stocks and stuff like that, not really the iPhone anymore. But anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Okay, take care.